the fight is the same. And let me tell you something. For us, it has been a growing human experience to meet so many courageous women and men that we are very different. Our religion is different. Our skin color is different. Our history is different. Our languages are different. And if we talk about any other topic, we could be very different people. When we speak about what it means to fight an autocratic regimes, immediately we are part of the same movement. Immediately we become brothers and sisters, and we don't use this term brothers and sisters lightly. We use this term because we believe that we need to have true solidarity, and we need to understand. And one of the challenges that we have, and we have taken that personally, is to learn. Is to learn what is happening in other countries. So places like this, when we hear voices from Vietnam, from North Korea, from Zimbabwe, from Venezuela, from Iran, these are places where we learn. And it's not just to learn the facts, it's also to learn the empathy that is necessary to understand that simple idea that human rights are universal. That should be the commitment of the Human Rights Council. But unfortunately, it is not. Not because of the people that are doing the reports are not doing their work. Because I need to make the distinction.
My brother always tried to make me politically correct because I, criticize United Nations. But this is a fact, and that's true. But at the end, it's endless meeting.
Well, but we need to make the distinction because there are many courageous women and men that belong to the human rights system, that go to our countries, take risks, that make sure that truth is told, that crimes are reported. They do the job. They do the job. And I have seen them. I know them. I've spoken with them. But let me tell you something. They are as frustrated as we are when nothing happens. They come here year after year, present the reports, and then politics takes over and nothing happens. So what do we need? We need the democratic countries to stand together, to understand that the fight for democracy and freedom and human rights is a vital fight. And it is not just a fight for more statements and for more speeches.
I think we need an alternative United Nations. Because to be honest, yeah, that's why my brother mentioned that. Thank you. My brother mentioned that we are different. We have different political views. We have different culture, different background, coming from different geography. But we are united. We stand together when it comes to fight together against tyranny, against dictatorship. We, all of us, many of us, we know each other through UN Watch, through Oslo Freedom Forum, through organizations that bring all the dissidents together. We are changing the narrative in the world. If those who are working for United Nations and they are frustrated, now they have to stand up against Antonio Guterres. They have to speak up. They have to say that they are frustrated. Because look, they spend hours and hours and they talk to the victims, and the victims inside Iran, they risk everything to share everything with the United Nations. And at the end, it's just a statement. Endless and useless meetings and statements. And that hurts the victims, that kills the hope of victims. Even now, I am shy to go to the victims and tell them that come and work with the United Nations, while the United Nations give a seat to the Islamic Republic to monitor human rights globally right after a massacre. That's why I believe that we need to build up a movement, an action-oriented movement that actually take charge and educate the youth in the West. Because look, I'm going to be very honest with you. It breaks my heart when some of like you in the West saying that, okay, this is in Zimbabwe, this is in Venezuela, this is in Hong Kong, this is in Iran. Why should we care about something happen miles away from Europe, Geneva, Netherlands? Yes? Whether you care about what's happening in Iran, in Venezuela, Russia, China, or not, those dictators, they really care about you. Some in the right wing in America say that America is first. We should just focus on America. They're wrong, because for dictators, America is first too. The first target to destruction. And for those left who sympathize with the Islamic Republic, they don't know that the Islamic Republic is not only targeting the women in Iran, or the Taliban is not just targeting women in Afghanistan. It's in their DNA to expand Islamism everywhere. So if you don't join us, believe me, sooner or later, you will face all these dictators in front of your door, your house. So dictators are coming to you. So you better choose your allies. Us, freedom fighters that you're going to listen, Maria Corina Machado, or you choose Maduro and you cry for Maduro being captured. Oh, this is against international law. Capturing Maduro was the duty of international court, international law. They didn't do their job.
I mean, so to speak about the frustration, I can feel the frustration of the people of Iran when the day that they celebrated the Islamic Republic revolution, they got a congratulations message from the Secretary General of the UN. How do you think?
Condemnation, not a condemnation for the massacre, but congratulations for the regime.
And what did we get from the UN Secretary General when Maduro was captured? Deep concern. Deep concern. That's what we got. So, of course, there is frustration. Of course, the UN system needs to be revised and needs to be reformed because it's not functioning. It's not functioning for what it's meant to be, for the people, for these ideas that we believe in, universal human rights. So I congratulate this meeting, congratulate this summit, because this is unusual. It's unusual to come to Geneva and to have people like us to speak out, because many times they tell us you need to be politically correct. You need to be polite to the international law. You need to work within the diplomatic ways of saying things. But if we work with the diplomatic ways of saying things, we won't be heard, because nobody's being heard when those words are being spoken in those terms. So yes, you hear today frustration, but you also hear hope, because we are about hope. We are not about frustration. We are about hope. And let me tell you why. Because the people in Iran, in Venezuela, in most African countries, in most Asian countries, they want to be free. They want to be free. So this is not about Western values. This is about the essence of human beings who want to be free. And what we need to do is to bring together not just the dissidents, not just the movements, but also governments, media, organizations, human rights organizations. We need to bring everyone to this idea that the world could be a world respectful of human rights. And human rights, my friends, does not come alone. Human rights is a consequence of two other things. In order to have human rights, there needs to be democracy. In order to have democracy, there needs to be free and fair elections. That will lead us to a free society. And only in a free society, there can be respect for human rights.
Um, I just want to reinforce, you mentioned about when you spoke at the UN not being politically correct. Certainly when the two of you and the other dissidents were there yesterday in the United Nations when we had our opening session, one of the diplomats told me, he said, I don't normally hear speeches like this. It's very different. Because normally either you hear very boring things or you hear politically correct things. And here you actually heard from people who have come from dictatorships, who are in very close touch with the victims and speaking with passion and with genuine feeling and truth, and they weren't used to it. So it was very important that the two of you and the other dissidents spoke at the UN. And I'll just mention something else that the two of you have referenced, is that often at the UN, the dictators say, wait, don't tell us what to do in Iran or in Latin America or in Asia. You have your culture, that's Western culture. We have our culture, right? And that's the dictators who say that. They don't want universal human rights. They don't want protections. But of course, when you hear from the dissidents say, we do want universal human rights. We do want freedom of speech and freedom of assembly and so forth. So that is one of the big propaganda
Good
at the UN.
question. Very good question. But my brother, let's be very clear. I don't want to criticize dictators for saying this is our culture, because we know dictators, they lies. My problem is with those who buy these lies. The Europeans, for years and years, they bought these lies and saying that You know, when we go to Iran, we have to respect their culture. Really? Forcing 7-year-old girl cover from top to the toe in order to get an education is the culture of Iranian people? This is an insult to the entire nation because this is the culture of ISIS. This is the culture of Taliban. They say that, you know, people in Iran, in the Middle East, in authoritarian regimes, they don't deserve democracy. So maybe they don't say deserve. They say that we don't want democracy. This is not their culture. No, we want democracy. And we deserve to have secular democracy and sit together like this. Sitting here, speaking is a crime in my country. You get bullets in your head, in your chest if you speak up. And you think that this is our culture? Or suddenly we want to die. I mean, as a woman, we want to get raped because this is our culture. This is really an insult to a nation. So I don't criticize the dictators, but I call on Europeans, on democratic countries to respect nation with empty hands, stand up and say that our culture is tolerance. Our culture is not death to America, death to Israel. Our culture is we want to normalize having relation with America, with Israel, with all over the world. Our culture is not I am Hamas. No. Our culture is Hamas, Houthi, Islamic Republic. They are the biggest terrorist organization against people of Iran, people of Palestine, people of Gaza, people of Israel. This is our culture. Middle East, Middle East is the most beautiful culture before Islamic Republic. We don't even share border with Israel. We had good relation with the Israeli government. This is not our culture to hate Israeli government. This is not our culture to hate America. We love you, good people. We love you. I was brainwashed in my country. They were telling me that you have to shout death to America and Israel as loud as Tel Aviv and White House would shake. Guess what? This is Iranians now. They shout as loud as Ali Khamenei's house is shaking now. Death to Islamic Republic. This is our culture because our culture is all about love, dancing, music, history, culture. But their culture, the Islamic Republic culture, is death, sending weapons, sending assassins in front of your house, sending killers, rapists, expanding Islamic ideology everywhere. This is their culture. So then it's your choice. You have choice. You want to choose the culture of ISIS, Taliban, and Islamic Republic, Hamas, Houthi, Hezbollah, or the culture of the beautiful Middle East who wants to stand together and be a normal country, have normal relation with all of you. Choose us. You don't have two options. You have only one option. Yes? Because in the West, I'm going to, last sentence. Unfortunately, you cannot ask me to be politically correct. Unfortunately, some in the West, they are allergic to the word regime change. But hey, we have allergy to dictators. So it's very simple. Join us. This is the Berlin Wall moment of Venezuela, Iran. Please join us to bring the wall of dictatorship down. The consequence is going to be bigger than the fall of the Berlin Wall because we're going to have peace and global security without the autocracy ink. Together, we are stronger. Thank you so much.
Leo, final thoughts, 30 seconds.
I just join a global movement for freedom. We offer you the World Liberty Congress, but you also have the Geneva Summit. Just join. Understand that alone we cannot win this fight. Understand that we need to learn about what's happening in other parts of the world. And I think that's the biggest takeaway of this summit. Let's join efforts. Let's be courageous. And one final thought: they cannot change us as human beings. We are good people. They cannot change us when we want to smile. We need to smile. They cannot take away from us our optimism. They cannot make us be people who are resentful and bad and in a bad mood all the time. We want to fight this fight with optimism, with hope, and with the assurance that we will be free. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Leopoldo. Before we break, before we break, I want to remind people we're going to break in a moment for lunch. The event will resume at 2:30 p.m. I want to thank Masi Alinejad, Leopoldo Lopez for your contributions, which underscore the theme of today's Geneva Summit: unite against tyranny and rise for freedom. Thank you very much.